human resources part of it plays a key role, because I remember prior to, I think after the war, before Shangri-La came, there was a set of people who came to this country to check and see what kind of services hotels provide in Sri Lanka, and they understood that it was not up to the international standard. The 4-star, the 5-star, which internationally is claimed, is not provided here, despite the fact that we keep calling them 5-star hotels or not. And they had to completely rethink how we get people here. We can't import people from abroad. We had to get these resources done. How does that address into creating more investor confidence? Because when an investor is looking at, he will be looking at the human resources part of it. If he has to bring people from abroad, that's a costly matter. Yeah. But then again, if he can't find the right people to do the right thing, the expertise, what kind of impact does that have?
Manish, I think that was perhaps quite true in 2009, because when the war was, after the war, if you look at the tourist arrival, it was about 200,000, 300,000, if I remember right. Now it's about 2.4 billion in 2018. There's a tenfold increase. Many new hotels have come in, many new chains have come in and trained the people and all that. But I think you hit a very important point, because a country like ours, an island like ours, which we don't have like India and Bangladesh and Pakistan, we have 1.3 billion people, 180 million or 220 million people. Our strengths, we have to play for our strengths. So we have one of the highest educated workforce, or youth who are highly literate, 100% literacy, almost 70–80% computer literacy now, with almost 100% digital literacy. So that means you have a trainable workforce. So what we need to create is, we need to create the avenues to train these people in disciplines what we need, and make sure that we create them a good career path. So university system is one, right? So I've talked about on ICT as given example, expanding the seats and all that is important thing. Not just expanding the seats, making sure the curriculum is updated. So one of the things that the president has done is to get the committees in to make sure that the curriculum is future proof. That's the first thing, right? So it's very important. Secondly, that is the new talent pool. What is the existing talent who has not been employed, gainfully employed, right? Otherwise everyone's lining up for a government job, right? So the question is then retooling them. Right? There was a program that was started last year to say that, okay, any arts or language graduate, you can take a 2-year program to be skilled as an IT graduate. So that's another mechanism. And it doesn't have to be provided by the government, because you have so many avenues now online. You can retool yourself. Back in the day, in the late 80s, I taught programming myself. In those days there was hardly any computers also, right? What I'm saying is, if there's a will, there's definitely a means to do it, right? Then the third part of it is bringing foreign universities to Sri Lanka. If you look at the last March, when I put down kind of a framework and I discussed with the president in terms of how you double the GDP in the next 10 years and what are a couple of things that we need to do in an orchestration point of view, I looked and say, like, from a BOI point of view, at least need 4–5 private universities coming in, because we have 12,000 to 15,000 people going abroad to study. They can study here and then they can go for the last year.
What disciplines mainly?
So mainly it's the sciences, that's what matters. Let's leave medical at the point, and the technology point of view, because if you want to move from somewhat of a manufacturing to a service level economy, you need to get the technology part very right. Then the last part is the VTA and the youth vocational training, and that is really critical. So I think there was a lot of effort that put by then VTA chairman Damita Wickramasinghe and the new chairman as well, to make sure that you introduce the right programs, right curriculum, and build that talent pool. And we also don't have a mechanism, like if you look at Australia, you can go to you call TAFE, right? You can do vocational training. At a certain point, you can come back to the university system and further study. We need to also create that. We need to think progressively, because talent, we need to allow the talent to migrate up and bring in efficiency, so that we get more output from a certain amount of people. And that is critical. So that's where like people like companies like HCL also will matters, because they come and take people from school leavers, they train, they equip, right? It's a work-study program. So you work while you study, and once you're tooled, sky is the limit, right?
Sure.
And at the end of the day, it is the well-being of the society at large. So that's what I think. If you look at the education system that way, we will get to that point.